Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, it is NBA All-Star break. Last night were the last games of the first half, I guess, ish of the regular season. But now we get to All-Star break. We won't have another game till next Thursday. So here, I'm going to be talking about every NBA team. Just talking about how every team looks now at the All-Star break. Just seeing how the first half or the first 50-ish games of the season looks for every team and where they kind of stand in terms of NBA ranking. Now, at this point of the season at All-Star break, we're getting right into it in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications to all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. I really upset a lot. Link to my Twitter in the description down below. And I don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So we're going to go based off league record. So the best teams in the league to the worst teams in the league. We're at the Boston Celtics. 43-12 at the All-Star break. They're on a 6-game winning streak, tied for the longest winning streak currently in the NBA. They look like the best team in the NBA. They look like the championship favorites, which coming into the year, a lot of people had them as championship favorites and stuff like that, but they look absolutely like that. They have a great team. Offense, defense, they're locked in. They just look really good. They have games where you don't have Jaylen Brown, your second best player, and you still beat a team by 50. That's just how, you work. Kristaps Porzingis doesn't have to play every game. Kristaps Porzingis plays once every, 3 days. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's just where we are right now. They are locked in all the cylinders. They should be the championship favorites. They're all the championship favorites. And honestly, they have pretty high expectations right now on them. Personally, I think they have pretty high expectations. Right now, it's looking like either championship or bust for this team. Now we go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're at 39-16, number one seed in the Western Conference. They look like a really good team. Their defense, obviously, is elite. They have the best defense in the NBA. Offensively, it gets a little stagnant sometimes, but their defense is so good that if you have a good enough defense like that, as long as you have a solid offense, which they do with Anthony Edwards, who dropped 30 last night, Anthony Towns is an all-star, guys like Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, Nikhil Nasri, stuff like that, you're going to be solid. They look really good. They've defied a lot of expectations. I predicted they were going to be good, but I did not think they were going to be number one seed in the West type of good. They've just been really good all year. Right now, they look like a really good team. If their defense keeps it up like this, they're going to be a hard team to beat. Now we go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 37-17. They're second in the Western Conference. They have also defied a lot of expectations. People coming into the season thought they could be a playoff team. I had them as a play-in team, and they've been one of the best teams in the NBA. Top offense and defense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is firmly in the MVP conversation. They're a very fun team as well. Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren has been really good. Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, Josh Giddey. They are a great team. They don't play like a young team. They move the ball around a lot. They're really good. There's been talks about, are they a contender, real playoff contenders, because they don't really have any playoff experience, and we just gotta wait and see for that. But they have been one of the most fun, if not maybe the funnest team in the NBA. It's a really good story. Right now, they look really, really, really good. They got a good win over the Magic on national TV on Tuesday to kind of get into All-Star break, and they look really, really fun right now. Now the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're 36-17, second in the Eastern Conference. They started off the year very middling. Evan Mobley and Darius Garland are hurt, and they got better. They went on a big streak. They won 18 of their last 20 games. They were on a 9-game winning streak before losing to the Sixers, but then they beat the Bulls on Wednesday. So now they're going to All-Star break, second in the Eastern Conference. Just insane. Donovan Mitchell's been playing amazing. Jared Allen's been playing amazing. They've been one of the best defenses in the league off the past few weeks. But also their offense has gone really good as well. Now they're fully healthy. They're going to have a fully healthy stretch coming out of All-Star break for the first time this season, really, since maybe early December. So we're gonna really see how this team looks and down the stretch how they're gonna look. But right now they have been one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the NBA recently, and it's just been crazy to watch. Now the LA Clippers, 36-17, they're third in the Western Conference. They've also been a very hot team as well. Since 2024 started, they've probably only lost 2 or 3 games or something. They've been elite. Kawhi Leonard is a little injured right now. We don't know if he's going to play in the All-Star game, but it's nothing serious. James Harden, Paul George, they got a good win over the Warriors on Wednesday. Big comeback. They put up 44 points in the fourth quarter in that game. They're a very dangerous team. They look like a very dangerous team. And honestly, I did a video I did the other day where if the playoffs were started today, what would happen? And I had the Clippers going to the NBA Finals. They're just a really good team. Offensively, defensively, they have all the talent. Their bench is really good. They can shoot the 3-ball well. They have the star talent. They just have everything right now. And they look very, 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 very scary. Next are the Denver Nuggets. They're 36-19, fourth in the Western Conference. They're currently on a 3-game losing streak. The reigning champs. They've been kind of just chilling. The first half of the season, it feels like they've kind of been chilling. They haven't been amazing, but they also haven't been bad. They've been one of the top teams in the West the entire year. Nikola Jokic right now looks like he's going to be the favorite to win MVP. They still have, as long as they have that starting five, it's great. The bench, obviously, a little concern, but as long as that starting five is out there and playing, they're going to have a chance to beat anybody. The reigning champs for a reason, And right now, they look really good. They're still kind of, I guess, the team that's trusted, still in the top of the Western Conference. Like, you have a lot of young teams in the West that we don't know. We haven't seen them in playoff situations or this situation before, so we don't know. But I think the Nuggets are a team that everybody just trusts. Like I had them going to the conference finals in my playoff prediction video the other day. So, yeah, they're still really good. I don't really care about their record in the regular season or anything like that because I know in the playoffs they have the starting five and the talent where they can go far. Now we have the Milwaukee Bucks, 35-21, third in the Eastern Conference. They had a tough loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. They're currently 3-7 in the Doc Rivers era. Things do not look amazing right now in Milwaukee. We've seen that the entire year. They fired Adrian Griffin halfway through the season, and now they bring in Doc Rivers, and they have not looked great under Doc Rivers. Their defense has gotten better, which is the big thing, but now their offense looks worse, and it's starting to stagnate a lot. And it's really been just Giannis. Dame also hasn't been great recently. Chris Middleton's injured again. Brook Lopez is kind of there-ish. It does not look great in Milwaukee right now. And last night's loss to Memphis was really, really tough. Shout out to the Grizzlies, though, for a great win. But right now, they just look, I don't know, because they still have the talent and are still good enough to, they have to be respected in the East. But it's I don't trust this Milwaukee team like it did in the past few years. This Milwaukee team does not look good right now. Maybe they just need the All-Star break to kind of rejuvenate and come out the second half of the year and look better. But I don't know what it's just this team just doesn't look right. They don't look engaged. They don't look ready to play. They don't look good. Now we have the New Orleans Pelicans, 33-22. They are tied for fifth in the Western Conference. They're on a 3-game winning streak currently. They look, I don't really know. They are the most confusing team in the NBA to me, because I don't really know where to gauge them in the West. I don't think they're good enough to beat the Nuggets, beat the Clippers, and be in the level. But also they have the talent where maybe they could. I don't really know where they stand in the Western Conference. I feel like every week they kind of different. 1 week they're dang, this is a dangerous team. If the Nuggets or Clippers face them, or the Timberwolves face them, it'll be tough. But then some weeks there's dang, are they really good enough to beat the Suns even, or the Kings? I don't really know where to gauge them in the Western Conference. Where do they stand or whatever. But I mean, they're still a good team. They still have talent. Zion, B.I. have been solid. CJ McCollum has been good. Herb Johnson. I mean, they have a really good team on paper. It's just I don't really know where to really put them in terms of where they stand in the Western Conference for me personally. The New York Knicks, they are 33-22. They are fourth in the Eastern Conference. They're on a 4-game losing streak after being one of the hottest teams in the league. Had a lot of injury problems. Julius Randle and OG Anunoby are out for a little while, but Robinson, of course, been out for the season. Isaiah Hartenstein has been out. They have a lot of injuries. They made some big moves at the trade deadline. Gordon Hayward, Alec Burks, Bojan Bogdanovic. Those are really good moves. We haven't seen this full team yet, and now they're starting to lose it because it's really just been Jalen Brunson and a bunch of guys. But yeah, they still, when they're healthy, at least on paper, we haven't seen it fully healthy yet, but we assume because Alec Burks and Bogdanovic aren't really big guys that are going to come in and take the ball away from Brunson and Randall, all that stuff. We assume they're just going to be role players that come in and fit. But this full team together, they're a very dangerous team in the Eastern Conference. Honestly, fully healthy, they might be the second best team in the East, personally. I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. So, I'm saying this with no really evidence to back it up. But, I mean, this team is really, really dangerous. They've just been losing a lot of games because, they've had a lot of injuries in the past couple of days. But Jalen Brunson is really, really good. Dante DiVincenzo is really, really good. And I'm very looking forward to this team fully together because this team fully together, what we think it is, it can be very dangerous. The Phoenix Suns, they're 33-22 as well. They are tied for fifth, sixth in the Western Conference with the Pelicans. They've gotten it together recently. Bradley Beal got hurt the other day. I don't think it's anything serious. Hopefully it's not. Just unfortunate. But Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are really, really good. Grayson Allen has been really good as well. I love the Royce O'Neal addition. The first couple games, he's looked really good. Interested to see how this team looks going forward now. Interesting to see how the playoffs work out for them. I mean, they look like they're a very dangerous team as well. I feel like they're kind of becoming the forgotten team in the West because they have the Nuggets, obviously the reigning champs. The Clippers have been amazing. The Timberwolves and Thunder are the young teams. The Suns have kind of been like the team that's forgotten about. You know, they're kind of the team that coming into the year. I mean, we all predicted them. Like I know I predicted them. We thought they're going to be one of the best teams in the West. Maybe the championship favorites coming out of the West. Who knows? You know, but of course injuries to start the year kind of put them down, and then we kind of just like forgot about them. I feel like they're still a very dangerous team. I mean, you have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker alone. Those two alone are tough, and then you got Bradley Beal add on to that. Grayson Allen, how great he's been this season. I don't know if he's still leading the league in 3-point percentage, but he's up there. Yusuf Nurkic has been okay. Now you got Royce O'Neal in there. They just added Thaddeus Young. They have another buyout market space left, and maybe they could sign somebody. You know, like, this is still a very dangerous team you have to watch out for. Next, the Philadelphia 76ers. They are 32 and 22, fifth in the Eastern Conference. They have fallen a lot. They were one of the top teams in the East. They're a team that, honestly, I thought maybe could, you know, this could be the year they make it to the conference finals in the Eastern Conference. But then Joel Embiid, of course, we know what happened to him, to meniscus injury, and now we don't know if he's even going to come back this season. And they have been falling, you know. Buddy Hield and Cameron Payne have looked really good, though. Since coming in, Buddy Hield has been great. He's been averaging like 20-something points a game, getting assists. He had like a double-double with assists the other day. When's the last time Buddy Hield did that? You know, like, he's been really good. They got a good win against the Cavaliers. But besides that, they just have not looked really good without Joel, which makes sense, you know. And, yeah, they're just going to kind of fall this season. Like, they're only 2 games above the Indiana Pacers in the 6th spot, and they're only 2.5 games out of the play-in right now. So I expect them to kind of maybe fall a little more depending on what Indiana, Miami, or Orlando do. But, yeah, it's just really tough that Joel had to go out. Next, the Dallas Mavericks. They are 32 and 23. They are 7th in the Western Conference. They're tied for the longest winning streak. They won 6 games in a row. The new additions of Daniel Gafford and P.J. Washington look amazing. You know, Luka Doncic has been killing it this year. Kyrie Irving is back. He had a big game against the Spurs. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been really good. This is a tough Mavericks team for me personally. Like, this is a team that can scare. Like, if they match up against an OKC or Minnesota in the first round, like, honestly, I think the Mavericks can beat them. Like, if you watch my playoff prediction video, I had the Mavericks beating the Thunder in the first round. Like, I really trust this Mavericks team with Daniel Gafford and P.J. Washington now. They've looked really good. Of course, it's only been, 3 games? You know, and they still have 20-something, 30 more games left to play. So we're really going to see how good this team can be. But I have faith in this Mavericks team. I think this is a dangerous team in the Western Conference. Like, this is a team in the first round that, if I'm a top team, I don't want to match up with them, because you have Luka. We know what he does in the playoffs. Kyrie now is playing. Then you add Gafford, Washington doing the little things. Derek Lively, Tim Hardaway Jr. the way he's been playing. Josh Green has gotten a lot better. Maxi Kleba has been good. Like, this is a very sneaky Mavs team that I like a lot. Next, the Sacramento Kings. They're 31 and 23, 8th in the Western Conference. They've been solid. You know, they had a good start. They've kind of been up and down a little bit. De'Aaron Fox has been really, really good. Domantas Sabonis, man, it's crazy. Still crazy how that guy wasn't an all-star. He's been really good. Keegan Murray has been a lot better. After he had a really rough start to the season, he's starting to pick it up. This Kings team is solid. You know, I don't love this Kings team. They're still obviously a solid team. Right now, they're probably going to be around the play-in, I would assume. But then again, I don't know. They can win 2 games in a row and beat the 6th seed. So the Western Conference, that 5 through 8 is 1 game in between each other, you know. But this Kings team is solid. You know, I don't love this Kings team as much as I did last year. Some of their players that were hot last year aren't as hot this year. You know, they're kind of come back to being okay, which is really good for the Kings. But I don't know. I don't love this Kings team, though. I think they're all right. I think they can, sneak up on some teams, but I don't really trust them as much as I do other teams in the West. Next are the Indiana Pacers, 31 and 25, 6th in the Eastern Conference. I like this Pacers team. I love the Pascal Siakam addition. He's looked really good since coming to Indiana. Brings a new dynamic to the team. Tyrese Halliburton, of course, with the injuries, hasn't really been as amazing as he was the first half of the season. But he's slowly starting to get together. I think he had 20 and 12 or something like that the other day. He's been solid. I still like this Indiana team. They're still a very fun team. Still a very high-powered offense. Tyrese Halliburton has still been really good. Now adding Pascal, that just adds a new dynamic. Very interested to see how the rest of the season goes. But right now, they look like a sneaky Eastern Conference team. They're a team that, I feel like most likely will lose in the first round. But there's a way. Especially with how good this offense is, there's a way. Especially if they face off against a Milwaukee Bucks team. Like now, there's a possibility. Next, we have the Miami Heat, 30 and 25, 7th in the Eastern Conference. They went on a pretty bad, 7-8 game losing streak. They got together a little bit, but now they're injured again. Jimmy Butler's away from the team. Josh Richardson and Terry Rozier are injured now. But since those injuries, they won back-to-back games. They beat the Heat, and then they beat who did they beat the other day? The Sixers. They beat the Sixers. because why not? This is Eric Spoelstra's team. They look really good. They don't look really good, but they look really good when they shouldn't look good. Like they won a 7-game losing streak with their fully healthy team, and now they won a couple games with their non-healthy team. It's just what it is. This Heat team doesn't feel the same as last year. Obviously, they lost a couple players. They did make the trade for Terry Rozier, he's been all right. Jaime Jaquez obviously looks really good. But I don't really know. There's still a team that you have to kind of respect, obviously. They made to the finals of the 8 seed last year when they were in this kind of similar predicament. They weren't really healthy to the entirety of the year until they got to the playoffs and they got healthy, and then they started to race. So this could happen again this year. They're a team you definitely don't want to face in the first round. Next year, Orlando Magic, 30-25. They're 8th in the Eastern Conference. I still think this Magic team is solid. You definitely see the flaws in it. They start off the year hot. They were number 2 in the East. They were great. But now they've slowly come down to earth. They're probably going to make the playoffs still. But you definitely see the flaws in this team and what they have to build on. They don't really have a lot of shooting outside of Paolo. Outside of Paolo and Franz, they don't really have a lot of shoot. They have defense. Their defense is still elite. Really good defense. But their offense has some limit on it. Like now it's getting to the point where they kind of understand, all right, Paolo's going to get the ball. Paolo's kind of been the point guard. Paolo's going to get the ball. And when he's on the perimeter, we're going to give him a little space. And when he gets into the paint, we're going to double him and force him to pass the ball out, which Paolo makes those passes all the time. He's a really good passer. It's just he's passing out to Markelle Fultz and Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac. Like they don't really have a lot of shooting around them. They have a couple shooters. Like Jalen Suggs has been solid shooting the ball. He's good. But after that, it's kind of like, You have Franz as well. Franz is really good. But you kind of see the limits on this offense, which is tough. But, again, this is like, maybe year 3 or whatever. This is year 2 of Paolo, year 3 of Franz. Like, this team is already good. They're a good team. They've established already, all right, we can win games. Now this offseason is just going to be about, kind of building around. And what can we get the little pieces to improve ourselves better. But it's still, I really like this Magic team still, though. But they definitely look like they're probably going to be a first-round exit. Now the LA Lakers, 30-26. They're 9th in the Western Conference. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They've been hot. They're 4 games above 500 for the first time in a very long time. They're starting to put it together. LeBron and AD obviously have been great, but now the others are starting to step up. D'Lo, the last month and a half-ish, has been killing it. Austin Reeves is starting to get it back together. Rui Hachimura, he had 36 the other day. He's starting to get better. They didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, but now they're finally starting to, get better. Spencer Dinwiddie's now here, and he's been okay. Just coming over, and this Lakers team, maybe this is the switch flip. Maybe this the LeBron tweeting out the hourglass, flip the switch, and D'Lo obviously has been a big part of it, becoming kind of the third guy, and being consistent, and shooting the ball, passing the ball, doing all that stuff. Has kind of helped this team a lot. Their defense is starting to get back to what it used to be, thanks to Anthony Davis. But this is a scary Lakers team. When you have LeBron and AD, you have LeBron and AD, that's enough to put fear into teams. And when you add D'Lo being good and you add the other players just doing their part, very scary team. They're not that far out. They're a little bit. They're 2 games behind the 8 seed, 2.5 games out of the 7 seed. But they are starting to get better. And I'm very excited to see what the second half of the season looks like for LA. Now the Warriors, 27-26, 10th in the Western Conference. They're a game above 500 for the first time in a little while. They were on a little win streak. They had a really tough loss to the Clippers. But then last night they beat the Jazz. Klay Thompson, first game since 2012 coming off the bench. He put up 35 points and 7 threes. Maybe 6-man Klay might be here. But yeah, this team is just about average. But they are starting to look better. Steph is starting to lock back into superhuman Steph. Andrew Wiggins is slowly starting to get better and better. Draymond is coming back from suspension. Has been good. Brandon Pajemski, love what he's been doing. Jonathan Kuminga has been great recently. They got Gary Payton Jr. back, which is a big part of that team as well. So interesting to see. I don't expect them to go on a huge run and be like a 7 seed or anything like that, because they still have their flaws, especially with the turnovers and defense and stuff like that. But they look better, which is a good thing. The Chicago Bulls, 26-29, 9th in the Eastern Conference. Kobe White is really good. Kobe White has been really good. One of the leaders for most improved player this season. He has been amazing. After that, I would assume has been okay recently as well. Andre Drummond has been good. Alex Caruso is doing his thing. After that, don't like that this team didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, but everyone has talked about that. But yeah, they have a lot of decisions coming up. Right now, they look like they're okay. They had a hot streak, and then they kind of came down, and they went back up. Right now, they're kind of like, they're 3 games under 500, but they're going to be in the play-in because That's how the bottom of the East looks right now. Yeah, but Kobe White's really good. So is some of their other players, but I don't really care about this team, to be honest. Now the Utah Jazz, 26-30, 11th in the West. They have fallen. They're on a 4-game lose streak. They were hot recently, like the last month and a half. They were like when nuclear jumped all the way up into the play-in and stuff, and now they're falling back down. They lost 4 in a row. They traded off some of their guys like Simone Fontecchio, Kelly Olynyk, all the stuff like that. Keontae George, though, really love Keontae George. He had 9 threes yesterday. That's really good. Colin Sexton has been playing great. Shout out to Young Bull. He's been good, line marketing. But this team is kind of starting to come back down to earth. And I wanted to see what the second half of the season looks like, because right now they're not that far out of the play-in. They're 2.5 games out of the play-in. So do they still try to compete and go for the play-in maybe, or do they just say, you know what, we're 4 games under 500. We're 2.5 games out of the play-in. You know, we're kind of just like, we have not looked good recently. We traded off some of our veteran players. Let's just pack it in, and the rest of the season, let's just let the young guys, Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks and them, go out and play. The Houston Rockets, 24-30. They're 12th in the Western Conference. They are another team that started off really good, but since the last month-ish have come back down to earth. 2024 has not been great to them. They've come back down to earth. Right now, they are 3.5 games out of the play-in. But they're still a solid team, and defensively they're still good. Fred VanVleet also has missed some time, which is a big thing for them. But yeah, Alperen Şengün is really good. Jalen Green, the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, is starting to pick it back up, playing a really good basketball. So that's really good to see. Amen Thompson now is starting to pick it up and starting to look like really good. He missed a lot of early season due to injury, but he's starting to look really good. This is still a solid Rockets team, still a fun Rockets team. Still a competent basketball team, which is what we all wanted. And kind of, I think maybe it's because they started off the season so hot that we kind of put a little bit of expectations on them, and now they're starting to fall back down. But I mean, it's still a successful season. Still have really good things going on for them though. Next, the Atlanta Hawks. They're 24-31, 10th in the Eastern Conference. They are not good. They're also a team that did not make many moves at the trade deadline. They're still a team. I mean, they looked a little better, but then they've also lost 2 games in a row. This team just is not it. This team just isn't it. Very excited to see what the offseason looks like for them, because there's been rumors that they're saying one of Trey or DeJounte is going. Maybe Trey's going to LA. Who knows? Maybe DeJounte might not go anywhere. Who knows what's going on with this Atlanta Hawks team right now? They just look really out of sorts. But in terms of looking what they look like, I mean, they're still a team that, I predicted them to make the second playing game, and maybe they could beat the Magic in the second playing game or the Heat. Who knows? Just because they have a team that could catch fire from 3. Trey Young could go off for 40 and 8 assists. DeJounte could go for 35. Bogdanovich can hit 8 threes off the bench, and now all of a sudden, they're starting to get hot and they start winning games. Who knows what they do? But right now, this Hawks team very disappointing. Next, the Brooklyn Nets, 21-33. They're 11th in the East. I don't like this team at all. I'm not watching Nets games anymore, to be honest. Early in the year, the start of the year, I thought they're gonna be a fun little maybe 9 seed, maybe 40 and 42 type games, have some fun performances, have really good defense and stuff like that. But they suck, man. And they didn't make any. They traded Royce O'Neal and traded Spencer Dinwiddie. Didn't trade Dorian Finney-Smith. Didn't even try with McHale, all that stuff. They lost by 50 to the Boston Celtics without Jaylen Brown. They're bad. They are really bad. I'm not really watching Nets games anymore, and I'm just waiting for the off season. They're still only they're 2.5 games out of the play-in. I don't know if they're gonna make it. If they do make it, that's just a lot. That says a lot about the Hawks or the Bulls. But This Nets team is not good. Memphis Grizzlies, 20-36. They are 13th in the Western Conference. They're a fun, gritty team. That win last night against Milwaukee, electric crowd. Zaire Williams, Gigi Jackson is a find. He's been really good already. Vince Williams has been good. They have some things. Obviously they don't have any names. You look at their roster and you're like, I don't know who 8 of these guys are. You look at the injury. The injury report is longer than the roster list in games most of the time. Obviously, it's kind of a quote-unquote lost season. But it hasn't really been, because they found gems. Vince Williams Jr. was on a 2-way. No one even knew who he was. And now he's got a real contract and probably going to look like a future member of the Grizzlies team. Gigi Jackson, 45th overall pick. Now he's got a regular contract and he looks really good. They've had guys like Zaire Williams. Scottie Pippen Jr. even has some good run with them. Jacob Gilliard. They have, Trey Jameson. They've had some things where it's hey, this Grizzlies team, they're a fun, gritty team. Shout out Taylor Jenkins is a really, really good coach. And, yeah, they're a fun team now. They're not going to win a lot of games, but they look gritty and fun, at least sometimes, obviously. Sometimes. Because there are also some nights where they lose by 30. But sometimes they're going to be fun and gritty, especially on national TV. There's Toronto Raptors, they're 19-36. They're 13th. Oh, no, sorry, 12th in the Eastern Conference. They have sucked since trading Pascal and OG, which, not surprised. They've lost 3 in a row. They've dropped a lot. Scotty Barnes is an all-star, though. Shout out to Scotty Barnes. RJ Barrett looks solid. Quickly's been all right. Grady Dick is starting to get in the rotation. Grady Dick has been doing some things, But, yeah, this team is not good. They're going into the younger rebuilding, I guess, retooling kind of era, which I like to see for Toronto. But, yeah, right now they just look like a not good team. Young, not good team, which at this point is kind of what the direction of the Raptors are going to go to, especially if they want to keep their pick. The Portland Trailblazers, 15-39. They are 14th in the Western Conference. They have lost 6 in a row. They are another team that looks bad. I don't really watch a whole lot of Portland Trailblazers games. Have started to watch a little bit more recently, though, because Scoot Henderson has looked better. I like Anthony Simons a whole lot as well. Jimmy Graham's been balling. Malcolm Brogdon's all right. They found some things. Guys like, Duop Reith, Jabari Walker have been all right. But besides that, yeah, I don't really watch a lot of Portland Trailblazer games. Their offense just is really bad. But Scoot has slowly been starting to get better and better and better as the season goes on, which I like to see. But yeah, Portland, what I can say is, you have some decent young talent. The Charlotte Hornets, they're 13-41, 13th in the Eastern Conference. They're 3-0 since the trade deadline. Brandon Miller is a stud. Brandon Miller is going to be a great player. Love that he's turning out for Charlotte already. Keep him as long as you can, Charlotte Hornets. But this team actually looks fun. The Charlotte Hornets have always been bad, but they've never always been fun when LaMelo Ball is not playing. And this year LaMelo Ball hasn't really been playing the last 2 years. They didn't look fun last year, didn't look fun the first half of the season, and now they're fun. Trey Mann is balling. I love that Trey Mann went to Charlotte. I said it in my trade on reaction. I'm like, Trey Mann's going to go to Charlotte and blow up, and he's been doing it. Grant Williams looks happy. Seth Curry in his old dad's jersey. Love to see that. Vasilij Micic has been all right. Miles Bridges has been good. They look fun. They're on a 3-game winning streak. When's the last time the Hornets won 3 games in a row? Probably a long time. So, yeah, Charlotte's got some fun and some things maybe to build on in the future for the first time in a long time. Spurs, 11-41, 15th in the Western Conference. Victor Wembanyama is very good, and is going to be very good. 27-14, 5-2-10 as a stat line as a rookie is absolutely bonkers. Victor Wembanyama is already a really good player. If his team was I honestly believe that the Spurs are 11th in the West, Wemby would have made the All-Star team. He has been that good. He's running away with the Rookie of the Year voting now. It was him and Chet, obviously, as it should have been. But now he's kind of taking number one and holding it like a football in his arms, holding on to it, not trying to fumble, right now. He's got the Rookie of the Year award right now. He's really good. Besides that, not really much to say. Devin Vassell has his moments. I like Devin Vassell. Jimmy Sohan has actually been good. I like Trey Jones. But after that, it's just been kind of a lot of garbage for the Spurs. The Washington Wizards, 9-45, 14th in the East. They lost 8 in a row, longest losing streak. They suck. They're bad. Kyle Kuzma could have been a Maverick. He said no, which, okay. Jordan Poole, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is. This is the Jordan Poole I know. He's been really, really struggling. Lost all of his swagger and confidence just looks gone out there. It's just really sad to see. They're a bad team, but they have some goodness. Bilal Coulibaly, I think, is going to be a solid player. Danny Avdija is starting to turn up. He had 43 and 15 the other day. So Danny Avdija is starting to turn up. He's having a really good year. Before the season, I predicted him as not a low-key most improved player. Probably wasn't going to win the award, but was going to be really improved, and he has been. Corey Kispert, too, has been pretty good. I'm trying to hold on to anything for Washington for fun, but this team is garbage. And the Detroit Pistons, 8-46, last in the West, last in the East. I don't know why I keep saying East and West. Worst record in the league, but they've been better. They have 8 wins. They've lost 3 in a row, but they were on a 2-game winning streak, which is like a 10-game winning streak for any other team. They look better, and honestly, they're going to pass the Wizards this year. They're going to pass the Wizards. They're not going to be the worst team in the East or in the league. The Wizards are going to be there. They're only 1 game behind the Wizards. I think they can do it. I really do believe, because this Wizards team is garbage. And the Pistons are garbage too, but they look better. Jaden Ivey's look better. Jalen Duren, I love Jalen Duren. Small Fontekios he's got there has been solid, so I like that. But yeah, I think the Pistons can do it. I think the Pistons can pass the Wizards this year. I believe it. By the end of the year, I think the Pistons will be better. Mark that down. Put that in there. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I really think they can. But that's the only thing good I'd say about the Pistons. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know how you feel about your favorite team or anything like that, or any other team in the comments down below right now at All-Star Break, what your thoughts about this team are. But yeah, thank you guys for viewing the videos and shorts recently. Again, I really appreciate it. If you like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.